Well, it's interesting. We announced TV Everywhere was back in 2009, and that really came out of our belief that customers should have the ability to watch what they want, when they want, but also where they want. And it's interesting because at the time, TV Everywhere was really thought of as a PC product. How do we make more content available on computers? Nobody was really thinking of tablets or even smartphones, because at the time they really were not as heavily penetrated with the video as it is today. So if you kind of extrapolate to where we are 5 years later, you now have almost every major network offering some form of TV Everywhere, whether it's their own app or their TV Everywhere website. We have over 100 networks that we're currently authenticating across 15 different platforms. Our TV Everywhere app, the Xfinity TV Go app, has been downloaded millions of times. We've actually seen about 150% increase in time spent viewing this year versus last year. So we're starting to see almost inflationary growth, where as TV Everywhere gets adopted and more customers realize that they have access to this treasure trove of programming, which is included as part of their video subscription, we're seeing more and more customers get authenticated. There have been other things, historically TV Everywhere was really thought of as on-demand content, and we have about 20,000 on-demand choices that customers can access anywhere. As long as they sign in, they can access it anywhere in the country. But TV Everywhere is also about providing live TV. So last year, Q4, we offered about 35 networks live streaming, where you can watch Disney Junior or ESPN or Pac-12 live, anywhere on these devices. We now have about 53 networks that we're making available live, and by the end of the year that will grow to about 75. So we focused initially on kids and sports and news programming because we thought that they lend themselves best to live viewing on mobile platforms, but we're now expanding the portfolio to include entertainment and more traditional broadcast content as well. So TV Everywhere is I think starting to really hit its stride, and you're now seeing organizations like CTAM starting to come up with best practices to try to standardize some of the messaging around TV Everywhere to help elevate the awareness, because I think that's a big focal point going into the rest of this year and next year, is how do we start to market and promote TV Everywhere in a way that customers realize that they have access to this content. So I think from an audience standpoint, there's an ability for programmers to better monetize those platforms in a way that is incremental to what they're seeing on traditional TV. To do that, there's two pieces that we've been very focused on. One is to ensure that those platforms are measured. So we have been working very closely with Nielsen to ensure that they can measure a mobile device or a PC in the way that they measure our on-demand platforms or our live platforms, so that the programmers can get credit, and also to enable the dynamic ad insertion capabilities on those devices. So a programmer has the optionality to either insert a traditional C3 ad load into TV Everywhere, or have it be a completely different ad load, different inventory that they want to make available on those devices. Recently we announced we had acquired a company called Freewheel, and I think that with the integration with Freewheel, it will allow us to give programmers even more tools on how they want to insert advertising and what that ad load is going to look like. And I think that it's all going to be kind of new opportunity for the industry.